And with John Mustain, coach of the James Monroe Mavericks. John, the schedule this year, I think up in Wheeling they probably are marking this first game because you beat them down here in the playoffs, but you open up with really one of the perennial powers in single A football in Wheeling Central. Like I said, you beat them in the semifinals. That's a tough game to start the season.
Well, just like you said, they are in the mix every year, and you know they're going to be in the mix every year. Plus, you add on to the trip to Wheeling Central, that puts a little bit of hardship on you too. But I'm really looking forward to it. It's good to play. To me, that's kind of a marquee game because they're kind of, like I say, one of those teams that is going to be in the mix every year. I'm sure their last couple of years they've lost in the semis, and so they're going to be loaded and ready to go.
Do you, as a coach, like that schedule where a lot of people play rivalries? This isn't a rivalry, but it's a top game in the state. Do you like that kind of challenge right off the bat?
Oh yeah.
Especially when you're replacing six guys on defense or five guys.
There's so many different ways you can look at it. You look at these college teams and so many of them, although it's kind of changing here in recent years, but normally most of them will open up with an easy game. But you can't always have it that way. I mean, it's hard to schedule football, harder than people realize. People think you can just snap your fingers and put a schedule together, or just snap your fingers and people are going to play you. When you're successful, and we've been through this many a times here. Bluefields goes through it every year. When you're successful, you're going to have a lot of teams that aren't going to be interested in playing you, and it makes it tough. And sometimes it involves playing teams where you're going to have to travel. And I hate that it's that way, but it's just the way it is.
Well, you mentioned Bluefield. You put them back on the schedule.
Yeah.
That was always a season-ending game down here. I mean, there have been, I think, at least two seasons where you ended the regular season with Bluefield, and then this school opened up with them in the playoffs, or saw them relatively shortly after that in the playoffs. Why did you get them back on the schedule? Was that simply out of need?
It was just out of need, in all honesty. I mean, out of
because
need.
Freddie will play anyone.
And like I say, Freddie's been through this even worse than I have, of having to travel out of state so much to find. I think there were a couple of years there he played two teams out of North Carolina on his schedule. It's just you just get in a situation where that's about all you could do.
Do you like having them back on the schedule because they were a rival?
I don't mind having them on the schedule at all. I never have. I've had people in the past when we were AA tell me you need to get Bluefield off there, and my thing always was, and I said it and I'll still say it, at that time, as long as I'm AA, Bluefield's going to be on my schedule if they're AA.
Well, you're single way now.
I know, but now it's just the way it is.
Now it's
I don't
out
have
of
any other
necessity.
choice. Yeah.
You've also you're developing, I think this has kind of always been this way, but it's developed more into a rivalry now with Greenbrier West. Not that far away, but that's a nice rivalry for both schools.
It is, and you know what? I think the world of all those people over there. I think all the coaching staff. I mean, so many of those guys I've known for years.
Even Kelly Bond? I just said that because I'm hoping he listens to this.
I think the world of Kelly, Jared, those guys. I thought the world of Coach Harris and Lou McClung back in the day. I mean, I love going to Greenbrier West, and you can always just about guarantee it's going to be a good game. And there is a certain element of rivalry to it. I don't think it's to the point where, sometimes rivalry equates with hatred. I don't think it's anything like that. I enjoy seeing those guys, and I enjoy going over there.
Who is your rival now? Is it still Narrows?
Well, see, we haven't played Narrows for so long. I don't see how you can say that. We do have them back, but I don't really see how you can say that. I mean, honestly, if just based on the last 2 or 3 years, I would have to say it is Greenbrier West. I mean, we're both teams that, generally speaking, in the last several years, we've been in the playoffs, and it's always a good game when we play each other. And it seems like every year, at least the last 2 years, anytime we come up against each other, it's a big game for both schools. So I don't have any problem with referring to them as a rivalry game at all.
Will it be fun having Kelly on the sideline opposing him now after Coach Harris retired?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I think you guys have probably gone against each other for a while now.
Yeah, I mean,
And he does a really good job.
My brother used to coach basketball at Mountain View and coached against Kelly, and so I like I say, I look forward to it.
I know that you don't overlook anybody on your schedule. Any other games? I think that those are the 3 highlight games. Man, you could probably put Narrows in there because of the.
I would put Narrows in there because of the proximity. I mean, I'm glad to get them back on the schedule. They're a very good team. They've done very well the last several years. Kelly Lowe does a fantastic job with them. I mean,
Well, you're playing in Nicholas County too, and that's another double-A playoff team.
I don't. If anybody would tell me there's a slouch on this schedule, I don't think they know what they're talking about. I really don't see a slouch at all on this schedule. I look for Pikeview to be tough, especially at their place. Trail, I think, is probably on the move back up. They were a little bit down last year, but 2 years ago they were right there in the playoff mix themselves. So Liberty, I mean, they always do a good job over there. I look for them to be pretty tough. So I see no. A lot of times, even I would never admit it, but a lot of times you look at your schedule and think this should be a gimme. I don't see any gimmies this year.
Well, you're playing a lot.
Summers County's going to be a lot better this year.
Yeah, Summers County should be.
They're going to be a lot better.
Yeah, they've got some nice skill over there, and a good mixture of skill.
Josh does a very good job.
Another lineman coach. They generally linemen make good coaches for whatever reason. You have a lot of double A's on there. It's almost like you're still a double A school. Generally speaking, I think the team you had last year was more like a double A team.
In some ways,
and because of the talent level that you had. A younger team, is this team ready for that kind of?
I could remember before I retired, people were already speculating, do you think we're going to go to single A the next time? Which we ended up that we did go to single A. And I would tell people, I would say, listen, if you think we're having a tough time getting a schedule together as a double A school in this part of the state, it's going to be even harder to get a single A schedule. Single A in this part of the state, as far as the numbers, is very similar to triple A. You take Greenbrier East, they have to travel all over the country to find triple A schools, although, they do have Oak Hill and Woodrow. I mean, for the longest time, they didn't even have Oak Hill, but it's, in some ways, I would rather be double A because it's easier to put a schedule together, in all honesty.
It really is. Hey, Coach, we're looking forward to the season.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.